I know it's been a few months since I posted the last one, and a few things have changed for me and how I want to do things with this segment. I'm still figuring out what I want it to be. I don't know if I want it to be like a podcast in the future. I don't know if I want it to be like a pretend podcast. I'm not sure. I just know I like the vibes of a podcast and I like video, so this is what we're doing. But I'm not going to explain anything else. I just want to dive right onto what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Today I brought my content journal. My sister got it for me for Christmas, and I started writing down things that I wanted to talk about in this session. And I call it a session because, babe, I'm about to blow it down. But first, I have to, como se dice, roll? Like, yeah, that's the best way to put it, roll. So give me like a second. I'm going to get myself situated, gonna get myself comfortable, dim the light, get comfy, and I want this to be as raw and as authentic as possible because this is the best. These are the vibes that I like to talk very deep in, especially in the comfort of my own home. So I'm bringing that, guys, to you. So with further ado, let's get started. As I'm getting ready to spark, I just want to say a little disclaimer before I even start anything. I know this is very new, and this is something that I haven't done on my channel before, where I kind of just sit down and talk deep like this to the camera, so bear with me because it is a little uncomfortable just opening up about life and just where I'm at right now. So disclaimer right there. Another disclaimer, this session, episode, segment, I don't know, it's called Shut Up, and it's pretty self-explanatory. This is my life, I'm talking about it, so like, shut up, listen, in the nicest way possible. Like, I just mean like shut up. Okay, so I'm just gonna dive right into it. This right here is my content journal. I just showed you guys. Whew, let me catch my breath, child. But I'm gonna just open it up and start talking about the things that I wrote down in this list for me to talk about today on Shut Up Session 2. This one is gonna be revolved around the healing process that I've gone through this year. I feel like 2022 has been one of the best years and one of the worst years, just because I feel like a lot of adulting had to be done, a lot of reflecting had to be done, and a lot of just downfalls when it comes to relationships and people around me. I feel like I was let down a lot this year, and I haven't felt that way in a while. So as an adult, I guess you could say, or as a growing adult, I feel like dealing with losing friends and losing relationships and just like altering all that is very challenging just because you don't really know how to react. So yeah, with that being said, let's dive in. The first thing on this list that I have is healing friendships and past relationships. So for me, I personally feel like recently, now more than ever, I've been at a place in my life where people that I've lost in not even just the past year, the past few years, and just in general, I feel like each person was placed in my life to teach me a lesson, and it's just rewarding to think back on people that you've known and people that you've grown relationships with and just know that like you were that person for them. Like, that makes me feel really good. But then you think about the fact that you put so much into friendships and relationships, and just to genuinely see the outcome, and when you really look at things for what they are, you kind of see that, damn, like at the end of the day, it wasn't anything I did, or at least that's what I feel like. It wasn't anything I did, it's just who I was, what I was doing at the time, maybe how I was acting. Maybe I just didn't align with these people's thoughts, and healing is hard, and losing friendships and losing people that you love is hard. It's not something that is ideal, obviously, no one likes that, but for me, it kind of, for someone who thinks really deep into things and puts their all into their certain relationships, because I'm a type of person who does not like to really dwell or make new friends really if I'm not passionate about you, or if I'm not interested in you, or if I'm not, I can't even explain it. It's just like, if I want to be your friend, you're on a pedestal, and that's that. So to be treated in a way where you just know, like, okay, that's not how I would treat you, it sucks, and it really, really screwed me up for a few months. And again, there's no name drops, there's no insinuating who's who. I'm talking general as hell on this thing. I would not come on this channel and just bash people, so please, dead that shit now. Thank you. To give a little background as to what that meant for me. But the healing process for me has gone a lot better. In the past few months, I've moved into my new apartment, and I'm on now my third living situation since I've gone to college, and you meet new people, in each one. For me, I've had the same roommates essentially for the past 2 years, so meeting new people hasn't been something I've done really. Once I met them, it was just like, okay, like that was that. But moving around a lot kind of does make you just want to stay to yourself. I don't know, it's just like you get a lick. Ooh, I thought something was on my face. You get a lick of how everyone is around you in your space, and it kind of just makes you want to stay there and get comfortable. I know that was a little tangent, but due to that, for me, I've just been doing exactly that. I haven't really reached out to anyone. I haven't really made any new friends. I haven't really been eager to make friends, but I feel like this is a part of my healing process. I'm someone who's just always had people around them, and I thank God for the people that are still in my life and have been my entire life. I really know who's solid, who's there, and who's not, and that's what helps me heal. I'm very all over the place if you can't tell, but I'm trying to be as authentic as possible in this. So let me take a few little hits and I'll get on to the second. I wanted to wrap that part up with just saying it's okay to feel like you need to mourn a friendship or get through, or just take time to yourself for a few months just to really reevaluate what you want in friendships and relationships and any aspect and any form of communication between two people that fucks you up. Like, it's okay to take a step back to reevaluate what works for you and what hasn't been. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. And I honestly feel like it's going to continue for a while. I think I need to just take this year off from people. Like, I just spent the last 20 years having constant friends and constant friend groups and relationships and blah, blah, blah. Like, this year's for me, and I'm stamping that right now. And that's all I have to say about that. Let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is staying on top of requirements and commitments. This one has been the hardest thing for me to come to terms with in a long time. So just to give a little backstory of what my last few years have looked like, the first full year of college, it was COVID. Like, there was rules and regulations. Like, in my dorm, we couldn't have people over. There was no in-person classes. Everything went online after the first 2 weeks, and I was just basically locked in a dorm and working, and that was that for a full year. Last year, I lived in an apartment and I was in school, but it was, again, kind of hybrid, and attendance was just not really something professors took as much, so we got away with not having to go in person to class, but being able to get the work done. Then my first years of college, I feel like a lot of people are busy and they do a lot, but for me, I did nothing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I worked, and sometimes I didn't work. It depended on the semester and what the situation was at the time, but I did a whole lot of just not extracurriculars and not taking on more commitments than what I needed to. But as a junior in college, you kind of have no choice. You have to jump into everything that you're doing, and you need to be able to carry it out, because every commitment you sign up for, you kind of stamp that you're great for it, and no matter what mental situation you're in or position you're in at the time, that doesn't apply. So you have to make sure you're doing it efficiently. So this past semester, I can finally talk about this now that it's over, thank God, but I made a few mistakes in terms of like how I was spending and how I was saving and just not doing it the right way, and it just set me back a lot. I'm not gonna explain like how that was for me or that, because that's just, we don't need to talk about that in today's video, but yeah, it just set me back a lot mentally, and it kind of put me in a place to have to take on more jobs and take on more commitments to be able to like pay everything I needed to pay at the time. And yes, I was working 3 jobs and a full-time student, and I was doing Uber Eats on the side. That sounds like a lot when I say it out loud, but at the time, aka a month or maybe less ago, it was really just go, 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 and I had to be here at this time, I had to be here at this time, I had to do this assignment today, and I had to be driving at this time. Like, that was just a schedule that I lived by, and it just made me feel really, really off. Like, I was committed, and I was doing everything that I needed to do all at once, but it was really putting me down mentally, and I feel like that was something that just shook me a lot, because I was just so used to doing the same thing the past 2 years. I was working here and I was doing school, and it never really meshed because of the situation that I was in. It was COVID, and I had more time to myself and to be able to do the assignments that needed to be done. And yeah, staying on top of your requirements and commitments is easy when you're motivated as fuck. Like, if you really, really want to come with an end goal, if you really want to finish with an end goal that surprises you, then it makes you stay motivated, and that's what I really wanted. I felt like for once in my life I needed to impress myself a lot more. I feel like the past few years I haven't been not impressing myself. I'm very proud of myself and the things that I'm doing right now in my age. But I just mean like I wanted to be doing more and I wasn't. So this was my chance to do that. And I feel like I carried that through. And just working 3 jobs was hard, but it was easy when you went to sleep at night feeling a little like, okay, I did that. But yeah. Now, saying on top of that, I kind of just wrote lists for everything. There's videos on my Instagram and Reels that explain like the process of that, but I literally have a to-do list. I have a little office in my room, and I have a laptop, an iPad, and I have lists on all of them, and I just write down everything on sticky notes and put them on my iMac, or like put them anywhere that I'll see them. I used to tape sticky notes to my laptop, like my laptop case, just so I could see it because I was on my laptop all the time. And that worked for me. So if that is something that works for you, then you should definitely try that out because it worked for me. Okay, I continued. Yeah, that's all I have to say. But moving forward on the next thing that I wrote down, I put here goals and aspirations being put on pause due to this process. And previously to that, I just mentioned back on the fact that I had a lot of commitments at the time. And I feel like for me, I'm talking about my goals and aspirations in terms of social media and what I want to do on that. I know social media is not like an ideal situation. Trust me, I'm so aware of that. Like the way my presence on social media has changed a lot over the few years that I built myself a little audience, and I'm still in the process of changing that to make it what I want it to be, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the same person that I was when I was posting. When I was posting in like freshman year and all that, I wasn't even out the closet yet. So like, I just feel like there was a lot of change that happened in the midst of the channel that I kind of stepped away from. And then I kind of just stopped posting, and I would post like once, like literally once a month. Now at this point it's once a year. When I was in high school, I was posting once a week, and that really kept me going, kept me really motivated. And that was something that I lost touch with in myself. And I talked about this probably previously, just because I'm really passionate about this right now. But yeah, I lost touch with it, and I felt like everything that I was posting was just not worth being put out there. And I felt like everyone I followed like didn't really vibe with me anymore, that I stopped posting as much as I was. But I also felt annoying in that process. So it was really just a lot going on up here that made me just step back from it all. And especially because once I got older, like I was posting when I was 14 years old, 15, 16, boom, part-time job. Like as soon as I turned 16, it was like, okay, I just don't have time for this. And YouTube at the time wasn't a job for me, but I was really invested in, like, I had merch, I freaking did partnerships with like little companies that I just had before, and it was just really nice to have that for myself. And to put that all on pause was really sad, because I didn't get to say like goodbye to the one brand deal that I had. I didn't get to continue on with the merch ideas that I had for myself, because not gonna lie, the merch sales weren't crazy, but a few people got them, and I feel like it was really good for me at the time, junior year when I did it. All this, everything I'm talking about is on my YouTube channel, by the way. It's literally like the last 5-6 years of my life is just like there. So just click and watch if you'd like to watch more. But all of that being put on pause for me really just bothered me. Like I would just always think about it and be like, I don't post a picture anymore. I do not post a video anymore. The way I feel about posting is so different now. And it's not because of like social media, it's because of how I'm perceiving it. And that was something that took me a while to really catch on to. But that took me a while to just put that in perspective and how I viewed that, to just figure that out for myself. But I feel like I'm here now, and I'm starting to understand like, oh, like, dude, that was just insecurity. Like, whoa. But go forward not having that mindset. I'm trying to not have that mindset going forward, because it is pretty toxic, and I'm trying to limit the toxicity I put in my own life now. So yeah, with that being said, putting that all on pause was kind of, it sucked. I don't want to say like it was dumb, but for the time, that's what it felt right for me. And I feel like it put me in a position to now be able to rebrand myself and figure out what I want to do with this going forward as I freaking graduate college next year. Like, it's crazy. Shit's moving on. But I don't want to talk too much anymore. I'm gonna end this here because I didn't write anything down. Also, I want to leave this open for room for you guys to suggest things for me to talk about, whether that be in my DMs. You can DM me, I always respond. My my comments down below, you can comment something for me to talk about. That would be really helpful. But yeah, if you watch this video, genuinely, I appreciate you so much, and I am excited to see what I do with this and how this progresses. I'm hoping that this does well. But yeah, this was Shut Up Session 2, the healing, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and I will try and post them once a week. Talk to you guys soon. Oh, I'm a dickhead. Excuse me. I'm trying to... Okay.